teams.
Fearless. They live for the thrill. They are the world's greatest daredevils.
He's done it! He's done it! Robbie Knievel has done it! And the goal.
But even with years of experience and state-of-the-art equipment, sometimes their stunts go bad. Tonight you will witness the fight against life and death, a never-ending struggle between man and machine.
He's down, he's hurt. My God, he's not even moving.
Stunts that were supposed to be performed in the air, but tragically fell back to earth. Extreme stunts with highly skilled athletes who end up falling to the mercy of the dangerous conditions. From high-octane stunts that twist out of control, to high-performance stunts where even precise expert planning can backfire, causing an explosive ending. Some of these stunts gone bad are graphic by nature, but in most cases, the injuries to the performers were not life-ending. The impact of these stories are not meant to shock the viewer. They are designed to prove that these amazing stuntmen really do risk their lives. They want to tell the truth about the danger and explain what actually happens when stunts go bad.
I'm Gary Davis, and I've been a professional stuntman for 26 years. The stunts you're about to see were all performed by highly trained, experienced professionals. These stunts are all extremely dangerous, and no one except professional stunt people should even consider trying to perform them. I hope this program will help you understand all the planning and preparation that goes into any type of stunt. The ones that are successful and the ones that are not.
When it comes to daredevil stunts, motorcycle jumps are always thrilling for the live stadium audience when they are successful, and most always a bone-shattering experience when they go bad. Charlotte Speedway, North Carolina, daredevil Doug Danger decides to try a practice jump for a world record attempt of 249 feet. Danger wipes out on the landing. Slow motion replay shows that he was traveling below the perfect takeoff speed of 105 miles per hour. The flight over the distance, however, was flawless. But because of the slower speed, Danger lands short on the runway, flipping him over the top of his bike. Danger breaks both of his arms, his left leg and his back, but he's considered lucky. March 10th, 1996, Mesquite, Nevada. Motorcycle daredevil Butch Laswell will attempt to jump across a freeway overpass. The wind is strong, but Laswell decided to go for it. Laswell is down, seriously injured. His approach perfect. But while in the air, a gust of wind shifts him less than 3 feet off target. By missing the landing ramp, his body absorbs the full impact of the crash. April 13, 1992, Sydney, Australia. Stunt woman Polly Wynn attempts to jump her motorcycle over Sydney Harbor. Polly accelerates too much at the bottom of her takeoff ramp. Over 700 cardboard boxes have been tied together to absorb the shock of the landing. But because of the high rate of speed, Polly is catapulted past the safety zone. Unbelievably, she sustains no major injuries. The undisputed king of motorcycle daredevils is Evel Knievel. For 3 decades, the entire world was a witness of his success or failure. His most memorable stunt gone bad was in 1967, Caesar's Palace, Las Vegas, Nevada. The injuries at Caesar's Palace are shocking. Evel Knievel breaks over 40 bones and is in a coma for 30 days. He never attempted the jump again, but the legend of Caesars was born. It took 13 years to get approval for stuntman Gary Wells to attempt to once again jump the fountains at Caesar's Palace.
We've had 5 approaches so far. This appears to be at 90 miles an hour. He's up. 23-year-old Gary Wells. He's missed it. He's in trouble. He's in trouble. He's down. He's hurt. My God, he's not even moving. He's hurt. He's hurt.
Gary Wells breaks his back, both legs, both lungs collapse, and his aorta is ripped from his heart. But he survives. Wells claims that the reason the stunt went bad was because someone moved his landing ramp during the night. The fountains of Caesar's Palace claim another rider, and the legend continues. Nine years later, Caesars is once again challenged, this time by the son of Evel Knievel, Robbie. The distance is 170 feet, a distance Robbie has never jumped before. Captain Robbie Knievel is the only human to conquer the fountains of Caesar's Palace. This victory is just one of the many amazing jumps of his career, a career that is constantly pushing for longer distances, faster speeds, a never-ending battle against Robbie's constant competitor.
Death. Death is probably the toughest competitor in life, and I continue to beat it every single time. And mentally, you have to block that out. You think about it, it's there, it's right in front of you. And you feel it when you're headed for that ramp. It's like, these are the last seconds of my life, shifting from first gear to fifth gear before I hit that takeoff ramp at 90 miles an hour.
Robbie holds a sanctioned world record for distance, 223 feet, and has made over 100 successful jumps. But nobody's perfect. Each time a motorcycle stunt person makes a jump, they are literally putting their life at risk. To even attempt a daredevil stunt, they must race to speeds between 70 and 100 miles per hour. And when a stunt goes bad, there are no nets, no airbags, nothing to protect their bodies. Most people would say that Evel Knievel is the greatest daredevil in the world, but that's not what Evel says.
I am not the greatest daredevil in the world. I am absolutely not. I am the father of the greatest daredevil in the world. And I would like to introduce you to my son, Robbie, the greatest daredevil in the world.
Without a doubt, Captain Robbie Knievel is following in his father's skid marks. His successful jumps are as spine-tingling as his dad's, and his wrecks are spine-crushing. Aloha Stadium, Honolulu, Hawaii. Robbie lands short. His back wheel clips the front of his landing ramp, flipping him off his bike at 88 miles an hour.
I hate to land short, and because you could tear your head right off. There's been a couple guys that I know of that, you know, instantly broke their necks landing short in front of the safety deck. And in Hawaii, I came down the tunnel. I was just feeling like it was a bad luck night anyway, and it started to rain right as I took off. And I didn't have the speed anyway. It really didn't have anything to do with the rain because it was such a light rain. And when you're up in the air like that, you're kind of sitting back and you think that you're going to land actually 10 feet shorter than you actually do. So I thought I was going right into the front of this ramp, which I did pretty much. I just got that extra 5 feet, you know, and hit it. And I sprained my back and flipped over the bike and walked away from that and came back the next night and did a no-hander and made it. And that's a pretty neat feeling, you know. You think, man, how do I luck out on this stuff?
Robbie didn't luck out at the Atco Speedway in New Jersey. This is a 198-foot mistake.
And it just feels like your back breaks in half when you hit the ground. And, you know, they carry you off and your hands are kind of busted up from the pavement and you're swelled up a little bit and, you know you're bleeding down there. And you get to the hospital and the doctor says, we got to put you to sleep to get this pavement out of your butt. You know, and you're like, what? Get me a mirror, you know, let me see my butt. So anyway, the doctor shows you, you know, and yeah, okay, put me to sleep, you know, so they, I don't think there's too many people getting asphalt taken out of their butts these days. It's different.
February 29th, Leap Day in Los Angeles.
I get off about a quarter of the way off the takeoff ramp, and I know pretty much if I'm in a crash where I'm gonna be okay. So that's why when I used to do the no-hands jumps quite a bit, you'd have to come off with the throttle right in the right place, you know, and have your knees in the right place. When I take my hands off the bars, the wind catches me and everything and brings me back, and it's just hard to do all those things, think about the back brake and all that before you hit. So I know pretty much, like when I crashed at Atco Raceway, I knew when I left the takeoff ramp I was going down hard. All you can do is grind your teeth and look at the pavement and know you're dropping out of the air from 30 feet at 90 miles an hour. And that feeling's like, you know, are you prepared for death? Are you prepared to die? And in my case, I am, but like I said, I don't have a death wish, and I hope I live forever.
In the high-speed, high-octane world of powerboat racing, accidents happen. Traveling at speeds in excess of 200 miles per hour, the smallest wave can blow a boat right out of the water. In between heats of major boat races, hydro stuntmen put on shows for the land-based audience. These stunt drivers actually plan to abandon their ships. During one of these times between races that an exhibition was scheduled of a new hydroplane design, the Miss Elam. The Miss Elam was built with extra weight in the front, so if she caught air, she wouldn't flip over. That part of the design worked perfectly, but the extra weight caused the front to whip downward at the exact moment of impact. The injuries to driver Ken Dryden were serious.
At that point, it sheared the cockpit up, right about leg level, and I received 7 broken bones in my legs and 3 broken vertebrae in my back. Once the boat gets in the air, you've got, in that particular boat, we probably had 7 to 10 seconds before, from the point of lifting off to impact. You got time to shut the motor down. I had time to take my fingers, let go of the steering wheel, tuck them inside my shoulder harnesses. Just about busted all my fingers doing it. But that's what saved my hands, because the whole cockpit came off and flipped down and underneath the boat, and the boat still had forward momentum. And that's what broke my legs, folded my legs back underneath the boat.
In the end, it was the fast action of the UHRA rescue team that saved Ken Dryden's life. Aerial stunts are crowd pleasers around the world. Precision flying, solo or in multiple formations are the highlight of many weekend air shows. But as stunt pilots push the envelope, the risk increases, and one slight error can cause disaster. May 14, 1996, Venice, Italy. A team of vintage biplanes soar through a series of rolls, spins, and loops. And then, without warning, Italian aviation officials determined the gusting winds caused 2 of the planes to collide. What at first appears as a harmless touch sends the yellow biplane into an out-of-control nosedive. Rescue teams responded immediately. The pilot was thrown out of the cockpit by the impact. He is seen here floating on the wing of the aircraft. Miraculously, he suffers only lacerations to his arms and face and 2 broken ribs. Paris, France. During a summertime air show, 2 Russian jet fighters dazzle a crowd of over 800,000 spectators. The pilots are part of a team of precision stunt flyers. Reaching speeds in excess of 600 miles an hour in their MiG-29s, they perform a series of high-speed maneuvers. But as they prepare to cross paths at close range, disaster strikes. Pilot Sergei Treshtikov ejects from his damaged fighter. He sees the jet that was piloted by his good friend Alexander Popov burst into flames. The flaming wreckage careens into the airstrip. Sergei's empty fighter spins out of control and also crashes to the ground. Both pilots survive this mid-air collision because of their split-second reactions. Just moments after impact, Sergei is seen ejecting from his jet, as does pilot Alexander. Amazingly, the flaming wreckage that was once the 2 MiG-29s fall harmlessly to the ground. There was not one single injury, and both pilots are still performing aerial stunts in Europe today. Small, specially designed aircraft thrill airshow crowds with amazing death-defying stunts. Joanne Oosterhout holds the world record for most continuous outside loops, 208, and the distance record for flying upside down, 658 miles. During the week, Joanne is a co-pilot of a 767 jumbo jet for United Airlines. She is quite aware of the difference between a commercial pilot and a stunt pilot.
A stunt pilot tries to show off what your airplane can do outside of the normal flying. I look at it as a form of freestyle figure skating. And it's something that people like to watch. It's fun, you do it to music, it's all choreographed with special effects. And you're supposed to make it look a little scary, but not too scary.
April 11th, 1997. A twilight pre-air show performance for local dignitaries at the Yuma, Arizona Air Show. Joanne will attempt a ribbon cut while flying her plane upside down, just inches above the runway. Her first 2 passes go as planned. She is scheduled to cut the ribbon on the 3rd pass as fireworks illuminate her mark, but her plane drops too low.
The first pass was fine. Second pass, I came through and went under it. No problem. There was still time to go back through it one more time. And I remember the turnaround, and I remember rolling upside down and getting that sight picture, because that's what you really concentrate on, is what you see. You bore sight your point of entry. And I can't remember anything more until just at the impact. And even then, I don't remember a visual picture until the slide started. From my point, all I could see were sparks right in front of my face and the dirt. I remember the dirt. Very, very close. It was not a fun thing to do.
To the amazement of the stunned crowd, Joanne walked away from the wreckage uninjured. And to everyone's surprise, she walked up to the grandstand and apologized to the audience for crashing in front of them, explaining that this was not the way she wanted to end her career.
The way I want my career to end is when I die in my sleep. The one thing I do not want is somebody ever to say that I died doing what I love doing.
Halloween night, Joe Burris will attempt one of Houdini's most famous escapes, buried alive. Burris will be placed in a see-through coffin. First, he will be covered with dirt. And what makes this stunt so dangerous is that 6 tons of cement will be poured on top of the dirt. Tragically, the weight of the dirt and concrete collapsed the coffin. By the time the rescuers can get to Burris, it is too late. Indiana radio station owner Bill Shirk is also a Houdini wannabe. He's made a name for himself by recreating some of Houdini's most famous stunts. The deadly history of the buried alive escape is a factor in the planning of this stunt. Stunt coordinator Bill Hoffman decides that Shirk be wired for sound so he can communicate with the surface at all times. The clear plastic coffin is padlocked.
Slow, real slow, real slow.
Shirk is then slowly lowered 6 feet into the ground. The cursed history of this stunt has everyone on edge, nervous, not knowing exactly what to expect. Dirt is placed on the coffin. Extreme caution is used so as to place the dirt on the sides first, and then carefully extending to the top of the coffin until the dirt surrounds the see-through enclosure. Once a layer of dirt covers the coffin, 14,000 pounds of cement are poured into the pit. The stunt is going as planned, but then the weight of the cement collapses the coffin. The emergency plan is put into action. A backhoe is brought in to dig a new hole next to Shirk, making it possible for the weight of the cement to be dispersed. The stunt coordinator jumps down into the hole. There's still hope that Shirk could be alive. Too many people digging in the hole could cause a cave-in. Suddenly, there is movement. To everyone's amazement, Shirk has cheated death. The stunt coordinator's backup plan helps save Bill Shirk, who was hospitalized after the cave-in.
Ladies and gentlemen, the wild and crazy, the amazing.
Stunts are made to look dangerous. The best stunts look impossible. But every stunt is planned and performed by a team of experienced professionals. Nothing is left to chance. And nothing that appears in this program should be attempted by anyone who is not a trained, experienced stunt professional.
When stunt performers choose to battle natural elements, many times the victor is Mother Nature. The Hawaiian island of Kauai, stuntwoman Maria Kelly will attempt to ride a jet ski off a waterfall, dropping over 100 feet. The swift current of the waterfall whips Kelly from the jet ski. Landing head first, she sustains only minor injuries. Valdez, Alaska. Extreme skier Garrett Bartelt will attempt to ski down an 800-foot vertical drop.
4, 3, 2,
One. He's away.
Just as he traverses at the top of his run, the tip of his ski gets caught in the snow, causing Bartelt to lose his balance. The voices you will hear are from the cameramen shooting the scene.
Oh, no.
No. Oh.
He's in big trouble.
Oh, right over here.
He's got to be hurt. Oh.
Right at the bottom of it.
He's out.
He's got to be hurt.
We need serious help up there.
He doesn't be conscious.
He is moving. He's picked up his head.
Better than we think he is.
When stunt skiers fall from dramatic heights, they are taught to go completely limp and to try to go with the fall. Bartelt flips 13 times, striking 5 jagged rock outcroppings on his way down. In addition to multiple cuts and lacerations, he sustains a compound fracture of his left leg.
There's a risk in pretty much anything that you do, I guess. It's all calculated, you know. As far as my crash, you know, it was a bad one, but I don't think it should hold anybody else back. And, you know, I'll still be skiing. I'll be out there.
Ford's plant, people have been fascinated with automobile crashes. As the auto became more popular, so did demolition derbies, with large crowds on hand to watch the destruction in metal-to-metal combat. Race cars certainly have the most spectacular car crashes, but not all crashes are accidents. This next collision took over 3 years of planning. It didn't take long for stuntmen, daredevils, and race car venues to derive a direct correlation between the number of crashes and the number in attendance. Big-time crashes bring big-time dollars to speedways everywhere. As the cars take to flight, so does the chance of a good wreck. Increase the speed, fly a little, and the crowd is bound to be on the edge of their seats. But why jump over nothing with a car when you can jump over 3 white school buses with 1 big black school bus? Or take a recreational vehicle to the air and clear a mess of portable toilets. Crowd-pleasing? Yes, but these stunts don't always go as planned. Firebird Lake, Arizona. Spanky Spangler is trying to set a new world record car jump. He's trying to drive his car off a ramp and land in the water. His ramp speed must be 80 miles per hour. The impact rips his hood off the car, caves in the car's windshield, and damages Spanky's emergency oxygen system. As the car sinks, it traps Spangler inside without an air supply. His wife, Candy, knows something has gone wrong. The rescuers begin a series of dives. The car is upside down and crushed. After over 3 minutes and no sign of him, finally, the rescue team appears. He flew 220 feet, a new world record. The car took quite a hit, and Spanky lived through it. This 911 Porsche, driven by Owen Evans, has just set a New Zealand land speed record of 220 miles per hour. This footage was taken after he set the record and tried to go faster. He did, but he blew a tire. The car went out of control at 230 miles per hour. Looking at the replay in slow motion, you see Owen's car veer off the road. It flies 20 to 30 feet in the air and barrel rolls over and over. Miraculously, Owen lives through the crash, but is badly hurt. Looking at the wreckage up close, Owen's teammates wonder how he could have possibly survived such a high-speed crash. This Lincoln Continental is equipped with an aircraft jet engine and miniature wings and is about to be launched off a 200-foot ramp to break every height and distance record ever set by a passenger vehicle. The parachutes were on board for just such a problem. It's an instant disaster. The car immediately shows it has no aerodynamic abilities in the least. The driver, Ken Powers, luckily survived. When the stunt is replayed from this angle, it is amazing he lived through this entire disintegration of his rocket car. Powers was not scheduled to drive the car on this day. The original driver, Ken Carter, backed out at the last minute. Maybe he knew that this stunt was destined to go bad. Brian Carson, the king of crash, has been performing stunts since the late 70s. When you watch one of Brian's stunts, you'll see they are designed to look like they went bad. Well, believe it or not, that stunt was perfect. His name landed right side up, just as planned. Brian's stunts even impress the veteran movie stuntman.
Myself as a stuntman and other stuntmen I know who have gone and watched Brian will kind of sit there and go, holy mackerel, you know, like, wow. Because a lot of stuntmen have never seen things like Brian does, because we don't do them quite that big. You know, there are those occasions, but a lot of times Brian has done stuff and I've sat and shook my head and wondered there's no way that he can get out of that car and he'll pop out.
Before we show you some of the most unbelievable wrecks that Brian hasn't popped out from, wrecks that have occurred when Brian Carson's stunts have gone bad, it's important to understand the basic premise of how his stunts are supposed to work. Brian calculates the physics involved in each stunt. He knows he must hit his launch ramp at exactly the right speed and angle. Explosions go off as he leaves the ramp. Flying hundreds of feet, he lands in a pile of catch cars, which provides the cushioning Brian needs to stay alive inside the car. One of two things in Brian's favor is this Kevlar jumpsuit. It protects him for up to 30 seconds to get out of the car if he catches fire. The other protection Brian has is that he builds very strong cages inside the car. They've been developed over years of crashing. This particular stunt is the perfect example of how one of Brian's stunts is supposed to go. At a takeoff speed of 100 miles an hour, Brian was trying to break the record of 250 feet in the air. He shattered it by going 298 feet, 2 feet short of a football field. He landed perfectly, no injury. And this is what Brian calls a sky crash. Went through the cars perfectly, landed in the catch cars, stunt went as planned.
All of my stunts end in a wreck. They're not made to be pretty. We're trying to make them as violent looking as possible, but yet survivable. But on many occasions, more than I can remember, I've been knocked unconscious on impact dozens and dozens of times. It's not a pretty business.
Dodge City, Kansas. This was the first time Brian attempted a long-distance exploding car jump. Not only did he not land in the catch cars, but the vehicle that he jumped did not have the elaborate cage that protects him. He hadn't learned to build those yet. The fire got out of control. Brian was seriously injured.
My wheels spun and I lost 4 to 5 miles an hour. I came in short, and actually I crashed in the worst possible way that I could have doing a car stunt like this. I couldn't do this if I tried in a million years. I went frame to frame with the first car. I didn't hit before the cars. I didn't overshoot the cars. I went metal to metal with the first framed car, and I took all the impact myself.
As the crowd stood and watched, it took over an hour to get him on the stretcher and into the ambulance. He had broken his left arm in over 8 different places. He broke his nose, and he had to have open reduction surgery on his arm, with 3 metal plates inserted to hold his arm back together. Brian attempted another sky crash. This one didn't go quite as planned. He missed the catch cars, slid into the wall, and sustained serious injury. The stunt went bad right at this point, when Brian veered to the right and didn't leave the approach ramp in the center. Luckily, he still hit some of the stacked cars, which greatly reduced his speed before he slammed violently into the arena wall. You might wonder, why would anyone continue to put themselves at such risk?
Brian pretty much knows what's going to happen. There are unforeseen things that can take place, but Brian's not crazy. He's got a lovely wife. He's got friends that love him. He's not going to go out and kill himself just to have a crowd stand up and cheer. You know, he's doing those stunts for himself as much as he's doing them for that crowd.
Brian has had a lot of successful jumps. This was not one of them. An end-over-end roll is the most violent scenario for Brian.
When the car launched, it went into a big arch, and the suspension wasn't right on the car, which I again learned through trial and error, and it ended up coming down. We cleared the 3 tractor trailers, but ended up coming down on its roof and then going end over end down the track. It broke apart the cage in the car. When I came to, my wife was there, and I was staring out of the back of the trunk, still helmeted in the car, but my head was in the trunk of the car. So, I mean, it was one violent wreck, and, you know, we learned from my mistakes.
After being unconscious for more than 20 minutes, Brian finally emerged from the vehicle. At this point, you might be saying, why would he ever put himself through this again? But it was from this crash that he learned how to build a better cage to attempt his biggest stunt ever. It took place in Laughlin, Nevada. The stunt was to drive a car off a 10-story parking structure and land in the catch cars below. It's a stunt that Brian had dreamed of doing, and why stunt people and daredevils choose to perform life-threatening acts.